Welcome to your doom. Shut it and get over here. Massive uppercut!
Hello and welcome to another edition of the Jab Jab Show. Today it's more of a vlog. This video it's about an update of what's been going on and so forth. And I did hint at in the previous video I put on that was the creative thing I'm now involved in. I've now started creating a thing which is both a mixture of new and old stuff. Now, as the thumbnail picture suggests or says, this is a monkey. This is a squirrel monkey, an outline of a squirrel monkey. It's got Pac-Man eyes. There we go. And this is an uncoloured version of who I like to call Bulletproof Monkey. He's my creation. And he's basically going to be part of a comic book series, a book. I don't know if it's a series or a one-off. I think it's going to be a series, perhaps. But basically, I'm creating a comic book series or whatever, based on Bulletproof Monkey. Now, as I said, this was this is an old idea. I've looked through a lot of my older stuff. This is dating like 2005, 2006. I've got all my writing. This is dated from 2005 onwards. This is various writing, working things out, ideas and things that have been used or not used. Bulletproof Monkey was originally going to be an animation, okay, and this is the mock-up of something I did. This is, as you can see, pictures of Bulletproof Monkey in the colours I was going to do him in, various thicknesses of lines. As you can see the background there, this was all hand drawn by me, then scanned in. Hand drawn. This is Bulletproof Monkey against a brick wall with the skyline. Now this was I actually drew this in pastel chalk on separate paper, and basically you draw it on and you rub it in, and you draw a bit more and you rub it in to kind of create this effect. Now you can create this kind of effect in Photoshop, but I was going to use it as kind of do all this effect in as backgrounds and scan pen drawings in a computer, then colour them in digitally, using Photoshop, or there are other art packages out there, just so I can kind of have a difference between background and foreground. That was the style I was going to do. The problem is it took me a long time to do the backgrounds, so even though I did storyboard the first episode, and I've got storyboards here, I keep all my stuff on creative things from down the years just so I can not look at them and go, oh, how naive I was. But I came to it, and I just thought it could work in as a comic book as well, comic book or animation. The truth be told, like the backgrounds, I mentioned the backgrounds took a long time to do in the style I want to do them in, even though it would be much quicker in theory, getting some kind of effect similar to what I was doing, hand drawing things on a computer, on an art package software. It just took so long. I've done animation in the past, and I may upload some stuff I did years ago, animation style, because the animation style I wanted for this one, look, I'm just one person here. I don't have anyone to help me on this the animation or the comic book. It just take a long time, but the animation I was going to use was something that I've utilised before, whereas like the 8-bit. This is going back to the retro games, 8-bit, 16-bit stuff, when you've got someone running, and then I'm going to do a demonstration on it. In editing it'll make more sense, but right now shooting it won't. If I was running, I know it's limited space here. If I'm running, it's a bit of a crude way of showing you, but basically that kind of like 2-frame animation to show someone walking. So I was going to use that kind of animation style just because it's kind of like the it's not so much cut corners, but I like the style. If you look at my intro, it uses that kind of thing in a way. All come from retro games, all come from the animation I grew up with. In terms of video games, obviously there are many more. So you might be wondering, how did this old idea like all of a sudden come back to the forefront of my consciousness? Well, there's multiple reasons basically. Firstly, I've got to give a shout out to a fellow YouTuber. He's got a couple of channels, one of which is called Fadge Plays Games. I'll put a link down below in the comment section. Check out his stuff. He's got a lot of interesting, varied things on his channel. One of which, fairly recently, I think he uploaded a video showing like his various paintings, his numerous paintings he's done, and designs and artworks and so on. Really interesting stuff. Really, I like a lot of the techniques he uses and so forth. And I can appreciate art. Many different forms, and it just got me inspired a little bit. I was gonna do a similar video showing some of my stuff, and he's done like subsequent videos showing his pictures that he's doing and so forth, and it just got me thinking, I can do something similar, even though I don't do the same thing as him. It's more sequential art I do, which basically comic books and so on. Or I've done little random drawings, little odd sketches, and things out my brain. I'm thinking, when I look back in the years gone by, and I think, what was I thinking then? But that's for a different video. As I said, I don't want to go into too much into that. There's that one, and there's also I was in W.H. Smith's about a week and a half ago now, to 2 weeks, I think. I was just looking at the various magazines I usually get, and I just happened upon looking at Women's Health magazine. I didn't look at it before. I just thought, okay, Women's Health, it's like an offshoot from Men's Health, and it just, so now and again a kernel of an idea forms in my head about things, and I was thinking, okay, so you got Men's Health, you got Women's Health, what's next? I was thinking Animal Health, kind of a daft idea for magazine. Then I thought, okay, what about having muscly cats, cat health kind of thing. I like muscly cats and big, do like training, like weight training and stuff. Then I thought, what about hench cats being an idea? So I thought the idea, like the title of something, hench cats, kind of like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or something, but cats in a way. And I thought for me anyway. That's a quite an amusing title, because so I thought, oh, what can I do with this? So what can they be? So on the way home, I was inspired. On the way home, I was thinking, what if this happens? And who am I going to base it on? And who do they have relationships? How do they come to be? And things like that. And I was thinking a lot, ruminating along the lines. Ruminate's a word. I don't know if I use it in the right context, but I was wondering, how can I was struggling basically to figure out a good enough, for me, a strong enough kind of story for them. So basically, I was thinking about what I can do with it. Then I came up with the idea of what if I came up with a weird idea. What if they're connected to Bulletproof Monkey? This idea I've got now. So I thought, how are they gonna, because this is kind of this idea I've got for it. It's grounded in a lot of ways, but because of who Bulletproof Monkey is and where he's been, where he's come from, and all the rest of it, it's quite outlandish in a way. And I thought, well, maybe hench cats could work within the universe I'm wanting to create for Bulletproof Monkey in some way. So I was thinking, well, okay, it could work. I had an idea for it, and I thought, well, Thundercats, can't really do that, because people say, you're ripping off Thundercats. So I thought, okay, let's change it to something else. So I do have the idea of a muscly kind of race of animals, but they're not cats anymore. So the idea I got originally for hench cats, they're not even cats anymore. I've got another species, that are gonna like be introduced within Bulletproof Monkey, and that's kind of like sometimes how it works. When I'm writing, when I've written short films or ideas for feature films, sometimes I'm inspired by a scene that I've imagined, whatever the scene is, or character, or a line of dialogue. And when I come to write the thing, that line of dialogue and that scene is not even in there. So that's what I'm doing with Bulletproof Monkey. I'll show in other videos my previous comic books. I've not done loads, to be honest. So I'd say another reason for my creative kind of juices flowing for Bulletproof Monkey, not necessarily because of Bulletproof Monkey, is because I'd say because I recently did a healthy mind, healthy body video. That was related to the breakdown I had earlier this year, and I did lots of update videos and how's it going and what's going on and things like that. How I'm feeling, and it's kind of like my confidence growing, is coming back, and my creative side is now kicking in a little bit more. And it's also the fact that I've the changes in what I do at work in my day job has gone. I've gone back. We've gone back to the department I was on originally, and I didn't want to do this. And I had a lot of things in my mind in terms of work and other things as well, and I didn't want to so much block it out or anything, but I wanted to kind of like look forward to things when I get home. Also, when I was going back to work, I did what's called a phase return. So you do a few hours for a few days, then you up the hours until eventually you're at your full 8-hour day kind of thing. And what was helping me through that as well is looking forward to things I'll be doing at home afterwards. Looking forward to getting home and say making a video for YouTube, or watching a particular film at cinema or at home, or just things like that. And I think it's related to that, where I'm looking forward. I have to have an end goal kind of thing at the end of the day or in the evening. I'm going to be working on Bulletproof Monkey. I'm going to be thinking things on the way home as well about story points and things, because there's a few sticking points I've had, story wise, how to get past certain, how to, progress things, all the rest of it, thinking about things, having this on my mind, and trying to suppressing a little bit of my anxiety at work in your way. I don't know if that makes sense at all, but no, that's what I've been thinking in the past few days. Since I've come up with this idea, whatever, about a week ago, well, whatever. I don't know. Okay, these are just some. I don't know if that's just like some notes I've been making. Let's see, some story notes I'm making now. And they're all there, all various notes and stuff. I've also done some designs, some very, very basic designs on some of the characters that you will be at least watching, reading in the book. And it's a bit haphazard, this. So I'll just quickly brief over that. What I would say as well is it's really weird, because, like I say, I envisioned this idea as a animation, and I did a lot of designs and writing for this, and I've still got the synopsis for what I wrote for the episode 1 for the animation, and what it's going to be. I'm melding that into what I'm doing now. The basic story. Most of the story, I think, for episode 1 from the animation is going to be a kind of flashback in the comic book. It'll all be revealed as and when. And the thing is with me, I generally don't know where it's going to go. I have ideas of where it's going to go, story wise, and that excites me. It's something that I've not felt, because every day now I'm constantly thinking. Obviously, you can't have the own thing that all on my mind, because we've got job 2, and we got it's my son to pick up and just live things as well. I can't not switch off completely and just think solely about my comic, but it's always there, and I feel good that it's like that. It's letting me think. I'm able now. I have the mind space now to go back to the way I was. What the comic book genre and the animation genre do for me is make I can let my imagination off off the leash a little bit. The comic book format and the animation format, if I'm writing for those formats, I'm not having to think, oh, how am I going to shoot this? Where's the budget going to come from? To shoot this is going to be expensive. I need loads of people to help me with this sequence or whatever, In a nutshell, anyway. I'll say in a nutshell. I'm going waffling on for ages here, but basically, it's the same reason as the main reason in a way I chose to go down a route of making YouTube videos, the subjects of which were films and retro games and all the rest of it. And don't believe me, the retro games are here to stay. I know what I can't do for one reason or other. What can I do, kind of thing. I'm in that motion where what I can do with my time and with my limited budget and resources and things like that. And the YouTube channel was the thing, because I'm shooting this at about 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. I've shot things at 4 a.m. I've shot things at 3 a.m. I'm in a position where, in theory, I can do that if I wake up early for whatever reason, and everyone's asleep as they are now. I'm thinking, yeah, bloody lovely. I can do stuff. I can play a game or do this, do that. And when I'm filming, a short film, feature film, whatever it is, and you're relying on other people, or you're working with other people, obviously you've got to have those other people there and things like that. You can't just get up and shoot for a lot of things, and I'm obviously worrying about budget and things. So yeah, it's and the comic book thing is the same for me, and it won't take me as long to do as well as animation. I mean, I have done animation before. I've got books on how to animate, and I've read and I've watched a lot of things. I'm a bit of a student for that kind of thing, so I know in theory, I know in practice how to animate. It just takes me a long time. So for comic books, again, same thing. Got books on how to's, and I've read. I'm not the most well read in comic books or anything, but I understand comic book language, and a sequential art, things like that. So it's again, I don't profess to be an expert in any of this. I know the principles, and it does take me a while to draw things, in the quality I want them to be. But I think basically what it is basically I only need to draw this thing once, like this panel of whatever's happening once, as opposed to animation. You've got you draw it, then you've got to do the in-betweeny bits of moving like that. And I have to draw the same thing several times, but at different stages, if that makes sense. Basically, that's what I'm being up to. That's what I'm continuing. As I say, retro games, and I've got requests. I've got ideas. I've got a new idea for a series. I'm gonna start on that proper. That's gonna involve blue screen and again, crude animation. Let's say it kind of fit the idea, kind of thing, but all will be revealed at a later date. So stick around for that, for all your retro game goodness. And thanks for watching. If you made it this long, I do appreciate it. And if you like this kind of thing, you can always like, subscribe, and comment. Tell your friends and everything. And in the words of the new Cyrus, say the word.